Are you thinking about buying or selling a home or are a real estate professional and want to keep up with Twin Cities news, market, stats, and trends? Then come hang out with us for a little while. Hi, I'm Kirk Duckwall, and welcome to the Twin Cities Real Estate Show. Today, we're going to be talking about Twin Cities single-family housing styles, kind of dating back. Where did things start here in the Twin Cities? But first, as always, we're going to go through what we've been seeing in our market and what's been happening. I'd like to welcome Chad Priebe, Bell Bank Mortgage. Thanks for coming in again.
Yeah, good seeing you. Thank you.
And Danielle Germundson, thank you for coming in as well.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. We're going to, when we get into this, I know you do a lot out in the Stillwater area, but all of this really applies, any town that you look at where, especially if it's an older established town that has, White Bear Lake or a Stillwater or, a Hopkins, right? That if there's an old downtown, you can see these trends that just kind of spread out from wherever they are.
Yep.
So, it isn't just Minneapolis and St. Paul.
Right.
And why is this important? Well, as a home buyer, there's pros and cons you want to think about, as far as layout, things to consider, I know a lot of people, they'll look at a street of homes and they go, oh, it's just a bunch of houses, right? And they don't necessarily think about, will this house suit my needs for everyday life?
Right.
And so as we talk about each of these styles, we'll talk about the areas that you typically will find them in. I've had people, they'll reach out. Yeah, I'm looking for that Victorian, like to be in Burnsville, right? Right. Well, you're not going to really find too many that pop up.
Correct.
The old farmhouse every once in a while.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to kind of break down where can you find these styles, because sometimes the housing styles that you're looking for may not line up with the area that you might be looking in. So I know I had a home search for a buyer one time, and we kept going to St. Louis Park over and over and over again, because that's kind of the area they wanted to be, but the house style was really important to them. Well, the house style didn't really exist in the location they were looking, so it did end up changing their home search. Definitely some important things we're going to touch on there. But yeah, as mentioned, first, let's dive in to some of the things that we're seeing in our marketplace. New listings, no surprise here. A couple weeks of dropping off week over week. Going down from 1118 down to 1,055. Again, not unexpected.
Nope.
Not a huge surprise.
Yeah, we're coming
Not at
into the holiday season here.
Yes.
It is a really interesting time of year. This is the time where we're approaching where lowest price points will be achieved. And a lot of people will go, wait, no, lowest price points are December or January. No, that's when the closed sales happen. Right? You got to go 30 to 60 days before that, right? So realistically, it's late October, November, and kind of early December. We actually tend to see things picking up later in December. People may have time off for the holidays. They get out there and start their search up.
Right.
Tough part there is the inventory is not there yet.
Right.
So
It's definitely a good time to buy.
yes, yeah. I know a conversation with my brother a few weeks back, and he's like, the importance is to convey to buyers and investors out there right now, this is the best market we've seen for home buyers in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And could very well be the best that we may see for the next 3 to 5.
Right.
That is correct.
As far as how negotiable homes are. I mean, the last time we experienced a market like we're in right now as far as velocity and drop off from peak was 2014. Our market from peak right now is down 7.5%. In 2014, from summer peak, we dropped 8%.
Okay.
So now, does that mean our market's crashing? No, absolutely not. We're actually seeing things leveling off.
Right.
As far as velocity in the marketplace.
Right.
So I think people are getting used to the new rate environment. I mean, we absolutely have home shoppers that are reaching out. I've had two in the last week that have come forward, right, looking to get out there. And something that's really interesting, a person had brought up to me, she's like, I don't want to get into the market right now because of how high rates are unless the prices offset. Mm-hmm. And with home affordability, we've actually seen that happen, that prices now have offset a little bit.
And, sorry, go ahead, Danielle.
We can actually negotiate prices down now,
Oh,
which
yeah.
has been non-existent for a while.
For a couple of years at least, right?
Yeah, so it's good to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen negotiations. A colleague mentioned to me there was one where it started at $900,000, and I think, yes, they reduced price over time, but then the negotiations kicked in. They got it like at $719.
Wow.
Right?
That's great.
Yeah.
You know, so there's opportunity. And what I'm telling a lot of sellers is like, you have to pay attention to where our market is. Realistically, days on market right now is at 32.
Right.
But because their neighbor's home sold in 5 days, they're freaking and they're slashing prices.
Right.
And we're not really in the market that we want to do that at the moment.
Right.
Right. Yeah, if you're the buyer that has decided to wait until spring to purchase, that's fine. But keep your options open right now. Keep your searches active. Because of what Kirk and Danielle just said, there are opportunities out there right now.
So we are seeing buyers coming out of the marketplace. Not a surprise again this time of year. That's normal. $839 for pending sales down to $794. Overall, we're seeing inventory moving down. It's been kind of flat for a while, but it is starting to come down. We're just about to break below the 9,000 mark in the Twin Cities. Now, keep in mind, last year we were down at 8,552. This year we're at 9,015, which is down over last week's 9,139. Again, expect that to drop. And this is the time of year where from now to December into January, somewhere in there, we're going to hit the bottom for inventory. And that's going to start moving back up.
Right. So we're tracking better than we were last year at this time as far as inventory.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Up. I think it's up 5.4%, something like that overall. Showings per week per listing. This is where I'm talking about the velocity in the market has kind of leveled off. We've seen this drop down, and it's kind of planed out over the last about 4 weeks. We're at 2.76. This is like down from a 2.79, right?
Okay.
So very, very minimal movements there. So transitioning over into the market meter, we were at like a 4.1 and then a 4.09 and now at a 4.07, right? So it's really, I've had people saying, oh, I'm waiting for it to go down more. It looks like we've kind of bottomed out. When we see running trend like that, we're in the last minute before the break here, Chad. Where are we seeing rates roughly?
Yeah, rates have been holding pretty Stable, thank you. Around, let's just say the 7% range. Yeah. We've been down to 6.99 up to 7.375. So kind of in that range. I don't
Seven-ish.
Seven-ish. There you go.
Seven-ish.
I don't anticipate any big changes with that in the near future. We do have a big day on Thursday. The inflation report, CPI, is coming out, so we'll see.
Yeah, and the show is being recorded Election Day.
Yeah,
so
that's correct.
We'll see what rates do tomorrow.
Yeah, good point. Good point, Kirk. I mean,
Keep an eye
obviously,
out
Election Day has a factor on the markets as well. So
we're going to take a quick commercial break. As always, if you have any real estate-related questions or needs, please feel free to reach out. Happy to help out with that, 651-303-0019. Or you can catch us at TwinCitiesRealEstateShow.com. We'll be right back. Our local sponsors are BRIX Real Estate, Network Title, Eric Bloomstrad and Chad Priebe with Bell Bank Mortgage, Structure Tech Home Inspections, James Tufson with Country Financial, along with Cregan's Construction and Grey Duck Staging and Design.
Hi, I'm Ruben with Structure Tech Home Inspections. Everyone knows you should have a home inspection before you buy a home, but we've heard of home buyers being encouraged to skip the home inspection in this crazy market to make their purchase offer more attractive. Now they're facing tens of thousands of dollars in unexpected repairs. I'm telling you now, don't skip the home inspection. Here at Structure Tech, we can get your home inspected quickly, and we offer a full line of services. Visit us online at structuretech.com to learn more.
Don't fall for the billboards or the clickbait. There is no such thing as today's rate. Mortgages and mortgage rates are individual to you. Chad Priebe and Eric Bloomstrand with Bell Bank Mortgage are here to show you the formula to get your best rate. Once you know this formula, you can mortgage shop with confidence. Find us online at chadpriebe.com. That is chadpriebe.com. NMLS 1462493, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Kirk Duckwall with BRIX Real Estate and the Twin Cities Real Estate Show. Buying or selling a home is one of the biggest financial transactions people make. Before you make your next move, download our free Smart Home Buyer or Smart Seller guides to give you the edge in our real estate market. From deal hunting to knowing the right repairs for maximizing value, these free guides have it all. Check them out and more at BRIXTwinCities.com under publications. Welcome back to the Twin Cities Real Estate Show. As I mentioned, as we were coming out of break, any questions that you have, any real estate needs, you can always reach out 651-303-0019, or you can shoot me a message at our website, twincitiesrealestateshow.com. If you want to catch our past shows, you can see them there as well as our free publications, the Smart Home Buyer Guide, the Smart Seller Guide. Yeah, happy to announce Smart Home Buyer has now been turned into a continuing ed class for real estate agents.
Cool.
2 hours of CE. We're going to be announcing some times for that. So, it's really good stuff in there, right? It's not salesy. It's informational. It's meant to help buyers, and we're working on the certification for the seller guide as well. So
Congratulations. That's
Thank
neat.
you.
Yeah.
That is.
All right. So one of the things that I touch on in that buyer guide is the importance of layouts and how important knowing your layout is. I know in the classes we teach, we do car analogies a lot.
Yes.
And I'll say the importance of knowing what layout you want is just as important of are you going to the dealership to buy a car or a pickup truck?
Right.
Most people do not walk in going, whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
They know.
Right.
They know, right?
They know.
So the idea of, well, I'm going to buy a house. Well, great. You're going to buy a motor vehicle, right? Right?
Yeah.
What kind of house is really important here?
Mm-hmm.
I was actually working with somebody looking at new construction. They're like, where do we start? I said, you need to figure out what layout of home. Well, why? Why wouldn't I find the land? I go, well, what if you want to build a walkout?
Right.
You need to then find a lot that can accommodate a
Right.
walkout,
Yes.
right? Or if you're building a rambler, a lot that's wide enough
Yep.
to handle a rambler, right?
Right.
All of these aspects of a home that you need to think about.
Right.
So, in the Twin Cities, and as I mentioned in the beginning of the show, and by the way, this is going to be a multi-part episode.
Cool.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of styles, and I'm not going to cover everyone. So listeners and watchers out there of the show, we're going to be catching the main ones, right?
Right.
There are clearly more styles than what we're going to cover here, but we're going to get the main ones. So if you look at the downtown areas, whether that's downtown St. Paul, downtown Minneapolis, just outside of Stillwater, or as I mentioned, just outside of White Bear Lake, or any small town, just right around Lakeville, whatever,
Yeah.
you're going to see certain types of homes.
Right.
And so the primary that we really see is Foursquare or Victorian style
Okay.
homes. And Foursquare can be Victorian.
Yes.
They don't necessarily go together, but they can kind of mix a little
Right.
bit. So what do I mean by a Foursquare? Well, a Foursquare is when you walk into the entry area, consider that square one. Right? And
Yes.
then that will lead through to a kitchen, probably, right?
Yep.
And then, so in front of you is square two. Then if you walk to your, let's say, left in this situation, you're going to be then in the dining room, square three, right? And then come back around to the living room. There's square four. It's
Okay.
chopped up into 4 little squares.
Cool.
Yes.
Right? 4-square design. And that's also where your load-bearing walls lie in the home.
Okay.
And so, yeah, and you go in Victorians, and the big main difference is how ornate is the property. Just a standard, just simple Foursquare versus the Victorian with the
Right.
You know, millwork and the spires and all
Yeah.
of that.
As you're saying this, I'm picturing that, right? Like
Yep.
if I'm picturing St. Paul,
Yep.
the Foursquare Victorians, you're right.
And I'm not talking about the big mansions here, you know, the Gilded Age stuff, right? No, I'm talking primary residences that
Right.
we see at most places, right?
Right.
So if I'm St. Paul, for example, you know, we would see this from the cathedral all the way up to about Dale-ish, maybe a little bit farther.
The Dayton's Bluff area.
Yeah, or Dayton's Bluff would be another
Yep.
another location where you would find those.
Yes.
Okay.
In South Minneapolis, you know, kind of making its way towards Franklin, and you know, if we're talking south, right? So this very closest in is where you're going to see these homes now. So I mean, what are the pros and cons? Well, if you're looking for a big open layout, it's not it.
Nope.
Nope. It's segmented up, and there's not a whole lot you can do with it
Right.
because it you know, it's where your load-bearing walls is. It's a 2-story home.
Right.
And so, you know, that's a majority. And these homes, we're going to say, you know, 1880 to about 1920.
Okay.
So 1880 to 1920. Well, if you like basements that are stone
Right.
and maybe humid,
Right.
right.
or may have, you know, it's not usually going to be. Not every house, but it's usually not your finished basement house.
Correct.
Right.
And a lot of these homes, you'll see actually a third floor. The attic will be a finished space.
Yes.
Right? That's where they pick that up.
Okay.
So some of the cooler things I've seen done with these basements is, you know, putting up rough cut cedar and turning it into a big wine cellar or something
Yes.
like that, right?
Cool.
It works.
Be creative.
Yeah. It's, you know, sometimes I'll see people, just leave the walls open, run the dehumidifier, and then they'll put down, you know, like play mats or something like that. But
Yeah.
it's not usually the one you want to carpet the basement.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, other thing is the insulation levels, if they have not been improved upon,
Right.
it might not be the most energy efficient. You know, this is a time where we will regularly see insulation that has just ripped up newspapers or magazines.
Right.
That's in the walls.
Are a lot of these
Interesting.
style homes, are they maybe remodeled or rehabbed at this point, maybe?
Some,
Okay.
you know, I mean, 50, 60%, you know.
Okay.
So yeah, and it's what's been remodeled. Some homes that maybe they've done the insulation, or maybe they haven't. Maybe they've
Right.
done the windows, maybe they haven't.
Right.
The electrical, that's another big
Yeah.
one, right? You know, is it the knob and tube that's running through the
Right.
house?
I was just thinking like that rehab type of loan. If you are in the market for this type of product or this type of property type, there's options out there if you want to rehab it or update it.
Correct.
You know, this might be a good
Good
income
thing.
earner for you.
Yep.
So kind of moving along to that next ring, I kind of think of it like a wedding cake, right? And the rings of the homes and where you'll find them. You're gonna start to find your craftsman bungalow, Tudor style homes in there
Okay.
as well. You'll start seeing the Cape Cod kind of
Yeah.
2 stories showing up. So now we're talking 1920s all the way into the late 30s.
Okay.
We'll start to see these homes. Now, a big change here is size. The Foursquares, the Victorians, you know, big, tall ceilings, full second stories. You know, you'd have a bedroom that has its own changing room in
Right.
it, right? That it was the grandness
Right.
of that time. When we get to the Craftsman or the Tudors, much more efficient use of spaces.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I mean, Craftsman, the quality is there, right?
It is.
You know, it's really. I mean, personally, I think the actual assembly quality is better than what you would see in the Victorian.
Right.
Quite often.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, this is where you see those just beautiful built-ins.
Yes.
That built-in buffets, built-in bookshelves that are separating
Right.
the rooms. Depending on what somebody has done, so this layout, right? Let's say we're talking about the Craftsman 1 story. You're gonna walk in. It may have a porch. It may not. You know, you're gonna walk in, and it's gonna be living, dining, kitchen, all on one side. And usually the kitchen is going to be separated from the dining space. So the dining and the living are attached to each other, maybe broken up a little bit by bookshelves,
Right.
right? But you're going to then have where your built-in is, and then on the other side you'll have 2 bedrooms and a bathroom kind of in the middle, right off of that dining area. And then what a lot of people did is they convert it, right, and they finished those attics, right, and now you have another bedroom.
Yeah.
Upstairs. Yeah, I mean, you do a lot in the Stillwater area, right? I mean, downtown Stillwater, right away, it's the Four Squares and the Victorians.
A lot of them, yeah.
As you're going up that hill, it's switching.
It does, yeah.
So.
Yeah, my grandparents, 10 kids in a Craftsman style home. 1 bathroom.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was, from what my mom would tell you, it was a battle.
Yeah.
But they did it.
Right.
Yeah, that's a
they made it
lot.
work.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And the way you describe that
Like
is
1,100.
exactly how the house was laid out.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, what I say about styles, and I'm going to wait until the next show, dive into the next ones, but what I say about styles is once you see it and once you can recognize it from the road, that layout in your head.
Yes.
Right? So that way, as a home buyer, when you're looking at these houses, you'll know right away, hey, is this a one I like the layout or don't like the layout?
Yes.
And some people will go, well, I need to see the home in person. You know a pickup truck when you see a pickup truck. And if you're not wanting to drive a pickup truck, then don't look at it. Right? So it is important to know, hey, this is that layout. It can really help you with your shopping process. So yeah, in the next show, dive into the war era homes, getting into the stuff, 1940s, and then Ramblers and Splits, and go from there. As always, I'd like to thank the 2 of you for coming in today. I realize I have one more 3-minute segment to do here.
Yeah.
So I'll thank you officially. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Check us out, TwinCitiesRealEstateShow.com. I still will thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back.
Not every title company is the same. There are many people involved with each real estate transaction, and all of them need to be in the loop or a closing may get delayed. This is why the people at Network Title strive to provide swift scheduling and communication between the buyers, sellers, agents, and lenders. We know moving can be stressful, however, your closing does not need to be. Check us out online at network-title.com.
My name is James Tobson with Country Financial. Anyone can sell you insurance. However, is it going to be the insurance you need? When life pops up with its surprises, you want the right coverage. When it comes time to find or renew your policy, give me a call. I would love to review your existing policy and show you what I can do for you. You can email me at james.tobson@countryfinancial.com or give me a call at 651-365-3408.
Hi, I'm Becca, owner of Grey Duck Staging. With today's home buyers beginning their journey exclusively online, the look and feel of your home matters more than ever. Whether it's a simple in-home consultation, a refresh using your current furniture, or a whole home staging, our goal is always the same: showing your home in the best light and helping you achieve the highest sales price possible. To learn more, visit us at greyduckstaging.com or check us out on Instagram at greyduckstaging.
Welcome back to the Twin Cities Real Estate Show. This is the extra segment that I forgot about at the end of our last one. No. So yeah, you know what? We have a time to touch on the war era house for layout. And I think we talked about Craftsman, Tudor, where the extra time is taken in the quality of the craftsmanship, right?
Right.
And then we switch over. So a lot of the Craftsman homes, a lot of story and a halves in there. And definitely something to think about if you're looking at a story and a half house, and war era are very similar too, is most of the time, not all the time, most of the time it's 1 bedroom up and 2 on the main level.
Correct.
So how are you utilizing those bedrooms, right? Some people that sometimes with families or little ones, they don't want to have the main bedroom up and have kids down, right?
Right.
So something to really think about story and a half. Where are those bedrooms located, and does that work for you?
Yep.
If it's like, well, I'll put the kids upstairs, I'll be down on the main. Well, just remember that your largest room is the one that's up, typically.
You're going to get a lot of good exercise.
We also talk,
Right.
they can be the headbenders.
Yes.
right, as you come up the stairs
yeah.
because of
The
storing.
angles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So we move from the Craftsman and the Tudors. Now I will say Tudors tend to be a little better on the headspace because it's much higher pitches to those. Also, they're really good with the little more open layouts. But moving into the war era, trying to save money, cut back on costs. Almost all story and a half. A big complaint that I hear a lot, there's no formal dining rooms in a lot of them unless, there's a couple styles where they have one kind of in the middle, but most of them you're divided up between the kitchen, so it's like an eat-in kitchen.
Right.
In a lot of these. So, something to think about. If you're looking for a formal dining room, then a majority of the war era story and a halves, it's just, they don't exist.
They don't.
Okay.
And again, it's going to be 2 beds on the main. So they didn't really change the house all that much.
Right.
It's this kind of transition point into the Rambler. You see a lot of nuances that are
Yeah.
very similar between Ramblers and Craftsman in that war era.
Okay.
But they aren't putting in the ornate built-ins typically.
Right.
The maple floors here, the oak floors here, right? It is really kind of bringing that cost down.
Quite a bit.
Of the homes.
Yeah.
So, usually you're going to start to see these as you're approaching the outer edges of most of the city areas. So,
Okay.
all right. Well, that's the end of our bonus segment, we'll call it today.
Yeah.
As always, if you have any questions for us, check us out at Twin Cities Real Estate Show. Happy to help with any of your real estate questions or needs. You can also download our free guides there. Take care. Thank you guys for coming in again.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Good seeing you both.
People always ask realtors, what is your commission? But what they should be asking is, what is your rate of return? Commissions only vary by a couple of % from agent to agent. However, the price per square foot you get just based on their experience and the quality of marketing they use can vary by 10% or more. At BRIX Real Estate, our agents use the right marketing and have the experience to get you top dollar for your house. See what we can do for you at BRIXTwinCities.com.
Not every title company is the same. There are many people involved with each real estate transaction, and all of them need to be in the loop or a closing may get delayed. This is why the people at Network Title strive to provide swift scheduling and communication between the buyers, sellers, agents, and lenders. We know moving can be stressful, however, your closing does not need to be. Check us out online at network-title.com.
Don't forget to check us out online anytime at TwinCitiesRealEstateShow.com. There you can find all of our past shows, our weekly market updates, along with the latest and greatest searching and researching tools, and our free publications to include the Smart Home Buyer Guide and the Smart Seller Guide, along with the BRIX Report. All of these free for you. If you have any real estate questions, please feel free to give us a call, 651-303-0019. Again, 651-303-0019. Happy to help answer any of your real estate questions or assist with your real estate needs.